ahead up until rehearsal G at all your accidentals. Keep in mind, I know a lot of us are not used to playing the sharp keys, but particularly for silent keys with an E sharp, it's kind of rough for strings even. So pay attention to that. And dynamic changes. I know a lot of us probably won't be paying attention to that. We'll take a little under tempo right now. So rehearsal B.
Where are you stopping?
Or G.
You didn't quite make it to G.
Did I? No.
We were at measure 121.
Okay. Sorry. I skipped the line. Skipped the system. Sorry.
That's all right. Go ahead and go back to what you were saying.
It was kind of starting to fill in, but good job in forms with the H-net. That's when it gets faster, it's going to be really quick. So pay attention to that. When we have all those down strokes, it's going to be really marcato, and I'll try to be clearer with that. And then measure 117. We have a really quick J crescendo to piano, so you can treat that measure as almost a forte piano. So the person is forte in the piano, and I'll try to be better with that. Yes, good with articulation. Let's try starting that section again, and let's all come in together. This is more of a lyrical section versus the beginning of the piece where it's more staccato. So, I like your phrasing today. And as we know that we can hear now that we're listening to this melody gets passed around a lot. So definitely, when you're accompanying part, make sure that you're listening to that person. Okay, this person now has melody. And really make all of your phrasing, everything that you're doing, support them and kind of feature them. But that's good job with all the other things that come before that. So we can actually mention that. Let's go from rehearsal F and then we'll rehearse that marcato section and then the backing up. So let's do pickups to F. Sorry, I didn't give you a very good pickup signal. Okay. Let's try that again.
Okay, stop for a second. So, you want them to play the pickup?
Yeah.
You have to give them something different than what you're giving them then.
Okay. So do I have to give them 1 and then 2?
Well, what beat do they play on?
They play on 2.
And so where do you breathe for them?
1.
So what does that look like? Yes, but you have to energize the breath. I couldn't see that you took a breath. You moved your arms the right way.
Okay.
But make sure they can see the breath.
Yes, better with the marcato and singing. Good. Now, most of you aren't string players, but we'll talk a little bit about the hooked bowing. This happens a lot after rehearsal. So when we see it's good for you guys to hear, the staccato with the slur over it, that's hooked bowing. So that's in the same direction, but it's a staccato bowing. So Mara, would you like to demonstrate that? 5 after E. Right. So if we were actually string ensemble, we'd probably talk about that a little bit. But good. Let's go to before, I guess let's go back to rehearsal and then a little bit about this. We have harmonically after D, that's after D, we have this descending, so that's important. But let's go back to D. And let's try this a little faster. We're gonna go. So we want to get a little bit of what you guys are doing when. So I will try to conduct that a little bit better. Let's do 10 after E.
We are actually out of time.
Okay.
All right, so good job, Lisa. How did you feel about it?
Good, except for that little pause towards the end where I wasn't quite sure what I wanted to do next.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
that would be rough. If you had middle school kids,
right,
they would have like ripped down stuff on the walls in that silence.
right.
They will go crazy. You have to keep the pace moving. Generally, your pace was quite slow throughout. Ensemble, did you feel that too? Yeah. So you need to have a really clear plan, like I'm going to run through this thing, and then the first thing I'm going to attack is this spot. The second thing I'm going to attack is this spot. The third thing is this spot, and then stick to that plan unless something goes completely haywire. And then you have to start and go, okay, well, we're going to do something a little out of order here, and be ready to kind of move on the fly. But you have to move much, much faster than you're moving.
Okay.
Okay? What else?
I think that the different styles of conducting, I could have done a lot better. Oh, dynamic changes especially.
How's your wrist?
It's probably locked.
Yep.
And probably pointing this way, which I didn't.
It's pretty locked. Yep. So for you, tap. Keep practicing tapping. Okay? How else did you feel about it?
I felt that they responded well to what I wanted, and so I guess from the things that I did want to say, they did it well, I guess.
So what ensemble, what things do you feel like she asked you to do? Wyatt?
So there was a time where this is sight reading going through this, and you're like, well, let's go faster, and I'm like, I don't know.
Well, I know kids, they like trying to play fast, so.
But if it sounds cacophonous before you want to go faster, which it kind of did, a little bit. A little bit. Okay, so ensemble, back to that question. What did she ask you to do that you felt like you knew exactly what she wanted? Because she just said that she thought you did the things she asked you to do really well. So what were those things, ensemble? Mara?
I think for violin she asked for hooked bowing, but I'm not sure everyone understood the concept except for James and I. From what I've heard, at least. I know it's kind of a tricky concept to transfer to winds, but I think James and I were the only ones doing that true hooked.
Okay. So she talked about hook bowing. What other things did she ask you to do, ensemble, that you felt like you really got some information from her? Lisa, what else do you feel like you asked them to do that they got some good information from you?
The down bow macro session, I spent some time on that, and just dynamically going up to that. And at first it was kind of, oh, okay, we're going to play stronger down bows, but more Mikado there, like stronger beats for them.
Okay.
Which by the end they were much better at.
Got it.
Seemed that they grew up to it with the crescendo, and then actually did it and backed off.
Okay. Generally, you're not giving them a lot of information. What I saw today was, let's run through this section. Okay, let's run through this section.
Okay.
Hook bowing. Okay, good. Hook bowing. You're onto something with hook bowing. Okay, now let's go back to this spot. And well, you did the down bow thing. But really, in the 10 minutes you had, I think much of what they improved upon was the result of playing it more than once. And that there wasn't a lot of information from you saying, you know, violas, the parts you're playing here, you're not playing all the right notes. Can you make sure that you're getting all the right notes? You got to be really specific. And I felt like you were really vague for much of the time. And I think when you watch your video, you'll see that there was not a whole lot of like, it just seemed like you were really insecure in what you were asking them to do. Ensemble, did you feel that way? Yeah? Okay, so I don't know if it's just kind of your personality to be a little bit more soft-spoken, but you gotta take charge of the room, especially if you're gonna be teaching kids. I mean, these guys, if you walk up there and you're a little bit subdued, they'll respond to you anyway, because they're college students, and that's what they do. But if you are subdued and you stand in front of a high school group or a middle school group, they're gonna walk all over you. So you have to be ready to turn up the volume of your voice, be a little more energetic and really go after some things and say, you know what, basses and cellos, you've got this line together here at letter whatever it is. Can I hear you guys play that together and make sure we're playing the right notes? And then you go 1, 2, 1, go. So that there's not a lot of downtime instead of something like basses and cellos. This spot before letter, like 1, 2, 3, 5 before letter, but that's kind of how it came across. Ensemble, does that make sense to you? Does that make sense to you, Lisa? Yeah, so you just have to be a little bit, move quicker and a little bit more trustworthy of your musicianship and just really go after some stuff. Okay? All right, thanks, Lisa.